energy to learn or train on printing without the big machines. Seems fascinating, right? And we have a super guru, our international expert, Mr. Mack, who is going to tell us about print simulators. And to introduce Mr. Mack, I would request Mr. Prabhune, please you take the honor and introduce all our audience to our international guru. Mr. Pune, you're muted.
Okay, I'm audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you, Pooja, and good morning to all. And I welcome Thierry Mack from Sinapse. Actually, I met Mack in Kazan last year when we were there for WorldSkills. And he has been supporting us even for the training of our earlier candidate, Shrenik, who had participated. And I found it very, very interesting. And it is not just WorldSkills, but if you look across even our country or other countries, everybody can't afford to actually have an Heidelberg machine or a flexographic machine or a regular machine to learn and do live jobs onto it. It's a huge task and huge space. So Thierry will take you through this great system of virtual reality where you actually can work on the machine. You feel like you're actually working on the machine, and the results which come out, they are as good as you're printing on the practical machine. So Thierry has been there since almost last 4 WorldSkills, more than that, and he has been associated with Sinapse, which is the company who has this software. It is a cloud-based system, and if you look at today's COVID and Corona situation, everything has been online. And I think Thierry and his company were already ready for it before it happened. So without taking much of his time, and I would like to welcome Thierry to India online, and I welcome all the participants over here. And definitely we'll be having 2 sessions. Today will be an introductory session, and then he'll be actually showing you what happens with this and how we can use it in WorldSkills, and also for the training of the different modules. Of course, main focus will be on offset, which is for WorldSkills. So I won't take much time, and I can hand over this to Thierry.
Thank you, Samir, for the welcome message. I am very glad to be there this morning with you and to share our experience about the WorldSkills and about the printing simulator for the educational. It's clear today that the situation is quite new, in fact, and we need to adapt our learning tools to the COVID. As you mentioned, yes, we have the cloud system that was ready before this, and then hopefully it will help people to continue to work and to teach and practice. For the WorldSkills, this is different. This is a great experience that Sinapse has since 2009 now. We are sponsor, and so we are working with different countries, different experts. With you last time, it was a very big pleasure, and so I recommend this experience. In fact, for the country who have the possibility to join the print media technology, and besides the difficulty probably in the future, I think it will be good that we can continue for this. So we prepared this meeting, with 2 meetings, in fact. One today, which is a brief introduction of the Sinapse company, the activity, what is a printing simulators, and then at the end we'll have a kind of game to recognize printful that could be interesting. And so we want to go very slow to give the possibility to people to well understanding what is a printing simulator, how they can benefit the use of this in the future. And so that's why we organize a second session, which is more focused on the use of the system. And before that, and also explain how the system is used in the WorldSkills context, of course. Okay, so this is what we are going to see this morning. First, introduction of the company and the simulator and the technology, etc. And then after, of course, we will do a brief demo of the simulator today. and the next meeting on Friday will be more focused on the solving problems for during the WorldSkills competition. Okay, so maybe I would like to share my screen now.
Yes, you have the right to share your screen. Are you able to share the screen?
Yes. Yes.
Great.
Oops. Okay. I see now you can see the presentation.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, just as I mentioned, a brief introduction of Sinapse company. So today we consider, most of the customer consider that finally the printing simulator is like a flight simulator for the printers. And more I like this comparison because we are lucky to have a training tool like this to be able to train on the software without using the machine. Of course, printing is less dangerous, but it is all the benefit of the simulator can be used with the simulator of Sinapse. So since 2000, okay, the company has been created for the printing software, and then we have developed 5 simulators for sheet fed, for web offset press, for gravure, for flexo, and also newspaper. So we are a French company. We are located close to Paris, and I hope in the future we welcome you in the city, but at the moment it is a little bit complicated. But okay, more our turnover is 90% at the exportation. So if you look at the map where the simulator are installed today in more than 45 countries, and so we are in US, in Europe, and in China, and different countries in Russia, sometimes, etc. So what is interesting to see is that the simulator today for the sheet fed, for example, is translated in more than, I think, in 18 different languages. And then more and more we add new languages when we have customers in new countries. So just talking about what you can do with a print simulator. So the printing simulator is based on the recognition of printing problem. So when you are working on a press, okay, you make some action on the press, and then if you see any problems, then you need to correct it. On the simulator, we do like the same, okay? So we have some predefined exercises, okay? And then to collect a copy, you have to use diagnostic tools to check the quality. Could be the magnifier, could be a scan densitometer, etc. And then you have to decide what you want to do to fix the problem. So first is recognize problem, decide what to do, and then at the end, you will see the result by collecting a new copy. If you make the right decision, then you will reduce the problem. If you make something wrong, then you will add new problems on the system. Okay, so recognize, decide, and see what's happening. So the simulator is working like a practice press. So you need to work on the simulator like you will do on the real press. And we provide the simulator with what we call a workbook, which is a set of different exercises predefined that was based on the PVG ITF training program. But you can add your own exercises in the future if you would like to extend your experience. In general, what we see in schools is that first, it depends on the equipment that you have in your school to train people to the printing technology. And we notice also that the time spent to teach people, students to the printing is less and less important. And so that's why finally the simulator could be a good complementary tools to increase the time of education for the printing process. So with the simulator, we can also now, the cloud in fact is more and more used, and I will talking about this later probably. So at the end of each exercise, in general, you will have what we call a report that give you a record, that give you information, that give information to the student or to the trainer, how we solve the exercise, the paper waste, the production costs, etc. And this is particular data that we are using during the WorldSkills to evaluate the result between the different candidates. On the simulator, we have, for example, two color press. We have different interface from Manuelan, for Heidelberg. And so what is important also is that you can use a printing machine with lower risk of accident. Okay, this is a safety way to train people, to train new students, for example, to the printing machine technology. So at the end, we think that using a simulator, we can train better, faster, and cheaper people because you are not using the machine. So we have now, since we are still working with main schools over the world, a kind of internal recognition. We are working with schools from Brazil, from Colombia, from China, in France, Canada, etc., as you mentioned, with different printing federation. And of course, with the WorldSkills since 2009. For the WorldSkills, we are working at the level of the national competition and also at the level of the international competition. Some view of people working during the WorldSkills. Okay, so as we can see, this is they are very concentrated to find what is the problem. So general, we are limited time. We have also organized in the past contests between schools or printers. And in general, we will organize the final at Drupa. But the last time the Drupa was postponed, and so we could not organize the contest as we want. So this is okay. We have also contests organized in China sometimes. I think the next slide is about the different competition we have organized in South America, in Europe, and over the world. Okay, so the idea is that main schools are going to compete solving problems. We organize also sometimes contests with printers for Flexo. In that case with Sun Chemical. Okay, so as you can understand now, the simulator is also a tool to make some training, competition, evaluation. So what is the training technology? So first, when you use a simulator, you will have two screens or two windows, okay? And then the idea is you make one action on the press, then you collect a copy, and then you see what's happened on the copy. Who is using the simulator today? We have different people using the simulator. We have, for example, people from printers from commercial printing that can use both sheet-fed or heat-set simulator. People from packaging with the sheet fed and flexo and gravure. Some training organization that can use one or more simulator according to their program. And also we have some suppliers, ink or paper manufacturer, who are using simulator to train people internally or to make some training with their customer. So as you can see, the simulator can be used at different level of the education. Just a brief view about the other simulators. The AWSITC simulator. So in that one, we have, for example, the GOS M600 showing printing fold and folding fold. So this is the sheet fed simulator that we are going to see in details later. This is one view for the common impression for gravure, for flexo, sorry. For the inline press and for corrugated. And the last one is for gravure. One special configuration we have also is a touch console. So this is a, a configuration based on the touch screen. And so this is the most appropriate configuration to train people in a printing plant. It could replace the printing machine as a virtual machine, in fact. So some schools have this kind of equipment just close to the printing machine. And so the student can work either on the simulator, either on the machine, etc. And you can make a rotation with the different students. This is very, very nice tools. This is, for example, in a situation, okay, in a school in France, they are using the touch console. And then this is the one competitor from WorldSkills in 2017 who are preparing the skills, okay, on this touch console. Another one is a touch console that use a customer in Singapore in the Print Media Academy, okay, to train the people. In 2013, we received one Intertech award for the learning management system, which is a new system coming with the simulator. It is a web-based system to help the trainer to centralize and to manage the training in internet or in the cloud, now we say. So that system is shared with all the different simulators. Either you are using the flexo or the sheet fed, then you can use the same system with the DLMS. So first, let's have a look on what is the benefit for our point of view of using a simulator in general. With the feedback of our customer and our experience, we can see that using a simulator, you can accelerate your training because you can practice very fast, very quickly, and so learn more faster with the simulator than the printing machine. Of course, this is complementary tools, but then you can accelerate the learning curve using a simulator. You can save money because you are not using a real press to train, of course, because you save the paper, the ink, and the money, and the press itself, the time. After that, you can reduce the waste because by avoiding errors on printing. You can standardize the best practice for different production sites. Okay, you can have the same approach for the diagnostic, etc. And so finally have more standardized best practice on the printing. In the simulator, we have very objective results. So for the evaluation of the people, it is clear that we can have a good option for that. If needed, you can adapt your training program because you are able to create some exercises, import your own print job, etc. So according to your needs, training needs, maybe if the exercise that Sinapse is providing is not sufficient for you, you can adapt and then create new problems. Okay, so let's have a look on the different people that can use, in fact, the simulator. Okay, as you can see, we can have some customers, some printers, technicians, supervisor, etc. And then you can increase the level of complexity of the teaching with the simulator. In the beginning, you can start with simple exercise, and then after have more complex exercise. This is typically what we have during the WorldSkills competition, because at the level of the international, this is the highest level of the knowledge, and then the competitor has to do their best to solve the exercise in a short time. So to summarize the result of and the benefit of the training in the industry or in the schools, okay, you can training faster, you can improve the print quality, okay, you can reduce the downtime and waste, then also have make some cross training with different people in the company, and then sometimes help recruitment and promotion, and etc. So this is the frequent asked question we have about simulator. Okay. Okay, why we should use a simulator? Okay, what we say, we learn by making mistakes. That's clear, and then it costs less to do it on a simulator than a real press, and it is less dangerous, of course. So by repeating exercises on the simulator, you can increase the level of learning and efficiency. So you can reinforce your printing experience, of course, using a simulator. And if needed, as I tell you, you can create new problems if you want to train people on a specific problem that you have seen in your company. And the end, you can also reduce the time for operating per training. So can simulator replace presses? We say no, of course, because you need to practice on a real machine, of course, because the simulator cannot do everything. But this is a good alternative tools or complementary tools to teach people on the printing machine. And as you remember, we have different process. We have sheet fed, flexo, graver, etc. Even if you don't have the press, for example, you don't have any equipment for flexo on your schools, if you have the access to the flexo simulator, then you can teach easily your student to the flexo printing process. Does simulator accelerate the learning curve? We say yes. This is the feedback we have from schools and printers. Okay, because when you're using a simulator, you can try many things, and it is not very important. You can understand what's happened, and then when you're on the real press, okay, you know exactly what is the good approach and solving problems. Now some customer installation that I can share with you. This is the very nice WorldSkills training center in China, in Shanghai. Most of the competitors are coming from that schools, and then after the WorldSkills competition, generally they continue to teach in the training center and to prepare the student for the competition. This is, for example, a view of people in Mexico that they are going to to work on the classroom, on the troubleshooting for sheet fed. Okay. So as you can see, you can manage 10 people, etc., at the same time on their own computers. So this is very different than if they are working on the real press at the same time, of course. This is another customer in China using a touch console. Okay, Shenzhen U2, which is a big company in China and in Asia. Okay, just have a brief overview about the DLMS principle, because this is very important today using the simulator and the cloud. So in general, when you are going to use the simulator, first, you are going to log on into the system and to centralize the report of the student. So with that DLMS today, all the user activity will be stored in the same place and then can be seen by the trainer remotely and more with the cloud system. And then at the end, you can do comparison between students from different classroom, different sites and groups. And you can imagine about with the WorldSkills, how it is easy with that system to do comparison. So from any place, you can log into the system and use the cloud version and centralize the records. And it works with all the different simulators that we have. And then the trainer will be able to see the results. So from the cloud today, you can decide the cloud subscription and then register your student individually. They will get a login and they can sign in into the system to practice on the simulator. As a WorldSkills sponsor, so to prepare your student to the competition, we will give you free access for a certain period to the cloud system for the sheet-fed simulator, and then you will be able to prepare your student to the competition at the level of the national and to the international at the end. So the main benefit from my point of view for the cloud is that you can run the simulator either from a Mac or a PC, okay, and then you can access to the simulator at any time with no limitation of use, depends of the subscription. Okay, just if you do comparison with local version versus cloud version, this is the equipment is different, and then you can access to the system much more easily. Okay, so this is the main presentation of the system. I don't know if it's okay. Probably we ask question at the end. If you want now, we are going to share time on the game. Name that print fault. We will see different print copy with print fault, and then the idea is to recognize what is a fault and what is a problem.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mack, for the lovely presentation. It was really knowledgeable, and we have Mr. Prabhune also with us. Yes, so I would like to take few questions here.
Yeah.
How do you differentiate other competitions than the WorldSkills competition?
Can you repeat to the beginning? I did not understand.
Yeah, I just wanted to know how WorldSkills competition is different from other competitions, like a national level competitions, and how we call WorldSkills as an Olympic for skills, right?
Yes,
So
sure.
how do you what advantages in your view WorldSkills competition participants get?
Yeah. First, there is, as I mentioned in my presentation, sometimes Synapse organize contest. Okay, this is the contest over the world, and there's also the competition for the WorldSkills, and then there's different level of competition. From my point of view, there is regional level of competition, which is not the same level of knowledge, of course, because the main idea is to select your competitors for the next level of the WorldSkills competition. Okay, so the idea is to prepare them and to detect, I mean, to select, in fact, the right competitors. But there is not only printing simulator in the WorldSkills competition. There is also many tasks, which is for the printing, for folding, etc. So this is okay. Printing simulator is the small part of the competition. So we, in general, Synapse gives some exercises to prepare your competitors to the regional or to the national. And we also prepare the exercise to international level, always in cooperation with the expert of the WorldSkills. Okay, I mean that we follow the recommendation that you want to give for that competition, and then we prepare the exercise. So to answer to your question, there is different level of complexity of the exercise. So the regional level and national level is much more easier, of course. And then after, when you will have your candidate for the international competition, I mean for the Shanghai, okay, then you will prepare him or her to the higher level.
All right. So I have another question here. How much weightage, uh, I'll say, what is the duration and the weightage of module of print simulators at WorldSkills competitions?
Um, I don't know what to answer to that question. Sorry.
Probably, Thierry, I can help you in this.
Yes.
There are almost 4 to 5 modules of print simulators in the world. And almost, like you can say, out of the 100 marks, around 15 marks weightage and is given to the competition. And there are 4 different tasks or 5 different tasks which you have to carry out over there. The most important part is, if you are thorough with the simulator, then it is known that you can also work on the actual machine. So if you know the simulator, you can know the actual machine. That's the basic benefit, because our printing module is having the maximum marks, like say 40 marks out of 100 in the WorldSkills.
Yes.
If you know the simulator, then you know the machine, and if you know the machine, you know the simulator. So it's actually taking the total module to more than 50% of the WorldSkills because of this.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. Yes, it's clear. And we have seen in the previous competition that finally all tasks are important in the WorldSkills, even if, for example, simulator or other stuff is a small amount of marks. Okay, I mean, to have a golden or to have a medal, okay, or to have a good ranking, you need to have a good level in each task. With the simulator, in fact, you will be able to prepare your student for the printing machine, of course, which is the highest ranking, and to the simulator itself. Okay, yes, it is.
All right. So when you say by learning on simulators, it's like we're learning on working on the actual machine. Is there an error also, or how accurate is that?
Yes, because in fact the good behavior on the simulator, as I said every time when I train people, is okay. you have to do like you do on the real machine. Okay, there is no working on a simulator and working on a machine. Okay, if the simulator is well developed, okay, you can do exactly the same. It's clear that sometimes some part of the simulator did not cover exactly what you have on the printing machine because it's not 100% the simulator of the real machine. Okay, but what is covered is you have to do exactly the same action. For example, if I want to check a printing roller on a machine, what I have to do on the real life is stop the press, okay, and go to the printing units, and then check the roller and see what it is. Okay, and on simulator it is the same, of course. Okay, you have to do exactly the same action on the simulator that you do on the real machine. So this is why at the end you will be very close of the training on the wheel press.
So is it a necessity, like you learn on simulator first and then put your hand on the actual machine?
That's an interesting question. As I can see with schools, sometimes there is two different way to use simulator. Some teachers think that finally they prefer to prepare their student on the simulator in the beginning before they go to the wheel press, and so they can learn the basics and on the press, on the simulator, and then go to the press. And or some other teacher, they think that it is better to first practice on the press and then after increase the level of knowledge with a simulator. Okay, this is very interesting. So I think everyone can imagine how they can use a simulator.
Right. So I have a message, I'll say, or it's from Lokman Ginraj. It's a super platform for WorldSkills candidate. But apart from WorldSkills, how candidate can be trained for industry for different manufacturers? I think this question goes to Mr. Prabhune.
I think the microphone is mute.
Yes, you're on mute, sir.
I think this question is pointed to Sinapse only because Sinapse has chosen some basic models. For example, Heidelberg has been chosen for offset printing. So if you go into the industry, there are like 10-15 brands in the world. So you may go to Japan, you will get Komori, you will get Akiyama. If you go to even Russia, there are some models. So the global platforms have to be selected. And since Heidelberg is the biggest company in the world for offset printing machines, probably it has been taken as the base for teaching. But of course, when you learn offset printing on Heidelberg, the working principle is the same. If you drive a Hero Honda, you can even drive a Maruti. So it's like the same gear system, only the basic things change a little bit. So technologically, I think it's same for all. I think Thierry can give you a more better insight on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you, Samar. This is exactly, yes. It's not possible to have all interface in the simulator. Okay, so we have for sheet fed we have two types of interface, and in the industry you have different printing machine. But the main idea of training people with the simulator is learning the printing process and practice on the virtual machine. So it's like when you are teaching driving a car. Okay, you have a different brand, but at the end, you know how to drive a car. And this is exactly with the simulator. So again, the idea is to do exactly the same that you will do on the printing machine. So you know how to identify each part of the press, how to operate on the main console, etc. Stop and start the press, etc. So this is the idea, yes. But for using the simulator in printing company, we have different plans. It's clear also that with the cloud system, with the DLMS, then we have the trainer will have the possibility to to follow up, in fact, the training for different people which are located at different places. That could be very interesting, and to avoid to travel in different places, etc. So the system is well fit for a remote system now.
All right, that's really a good knowledge for me. So, like now we know it's a virtual thing and hands-on practice. I think practice is required to be perfect on real machine. And when we learn, we practice, and then we ace it, and then we go and win in the WorldSkills. So, I have another question for you. How affordable are these simulators, and how popular are they across the world?
I think, for example, during the COVID in March, we opened the platform for the cloud to the schools, and because they could not access to the school themselves because it was closed. And then we received a lot of message from many customers or other schools that want to access to the system, and then over that 130 different schools over the world has joined the program Learning Continue that we have opened from March to June, and with more than 1,200 students working at the same time. It was very great experience for the platform of Sinapse in the cloud, because we have seen that no one would be able to use the system because schools were closed, okay, and then they could access to the system. And what I see now with the cloud system is that the system is used at any time. I mean, this is, you can see that students can work at in the evening, early in the morning, every time when they want, because they can access from anywhere. So this is a good thing. Of course, learning at distance is not only should be managed by the teacher, of course, but this is a combination of organization of the training at distance, and then the student will have the possibility to practice by himself with the simulator when he wants. Okay, so this is a new way how to, probably the situation we have right now, to create new system to train people at distance. I mean, this is for simulator, for printing, but for other things, of course, for all the different educational, that we know that probably we need to invent a new system how to train people at distance with the cloud, with the new technology.
Okay, great. So before we proceed, I would like to tell everybody that there is a participation certificate for this session, which will be uploaded in 3 days of the session. And yes, what you need to do, you need to enter your email address and the topic, the subject of the session, to download your e-certificate from our website, vidyadaan.net. Yes, would you like to give any homework to the students watching before they join in the second section?
Yeah, I think I hope that you have interest for this first session, and so you will see more about how to use the simulator in the second session. Okay, and so I hope that we have the interest to join us again on next session.
Pooja, I would like to add to your question, actually, like if you say homework for the students from the print industry is, if they can just go through the basics of printing technology, just the basics, like what is offset, what is ink, what is paper, what is ink water balance, what is a sucker, what is forwarding, what is registration. So if these are the basic terminologies, if they just go through and understand, then when the session will be there, actually when Thierry will be showing how the problem is created and how it is being solved. All the problems in the world are in the basics, and you always search in the top. So I think just learn the basics. It will be helpful for them to understand how the session goes, and that's all. I think that's the basic homework. Basics should be clear. That's it.
Great.
Yes.
Before the next session, you have to clear all your basics and come back with the problems that you can ask in the Q&A. And Mr. Mack and Mr. Prabhune will be more than happy to answer all the queries. And these gurus and experts have been training multiple people, multiple students, and making them work and bring glory to their countries, bring the pride and raising with the flag, running with the flag on the stage. So you can be the one to bringing glory to the nation. So before we continue, I would like to tell you about our upcoming session, which is on 20th of July with Mr. Arun Moon. He is coming up with the exclusive session on conceptual background design for movie, animation, and games. That's at 4 p.m. August 20th. So stay tuned to register. Mr. Mack will be joining us back on 21st of August with solving problems. So he is going to solve all your problems, and we will be delighted to get answers for any questions we may have.
Sure.
So, any information, or would you like to give us little details on how are you going to continue with the second session? You'll be getting us the basics, or like this is the introductory session, and the next one is called solving problems. How are we going to start that session? Like, what will be the, if you can give a brief on that session, please.
Sure. We are going to launch exercises on the simulator and solving problem together. I think maybe, I don't know, if we can have some interaction with the audience, that would be good. Okay, so for example, I will manipulate the simulator and they have to tell me what to do to solve the problems. Okay, so first we are going to solve one exercise as a sample, okay? And then after we are going to learn to launch new exercises and solving problem together on the simulator. So at the end of the session, probably they will have more idea how to use it, in fact. And then, so I will show you, give more information about how the WorldSkills competition is organized with the training simulator, and it will be the goal of the new session.
Okay, great. And here I would like to show the creative of our upcoming session on solving problems with the simulation models for printing technology on August 21st. So we have a link mentioned here. Guys, do register for the session, and we hope that you will be clear with all the basics before you join that session. As the time is almost over, I would just like last tip for our students to be prepared with the basics. How would you like we have discussed about the color scheme yesterday. So do you think that color scheme learning is also important before they join in the next session?
I think basics of color is important, because when we will be seeing this session, the printing machine is comprising of 4 units, basically, like cyan, magenta, yellow, black, 4 colors. So they should know what color comes out when one color is overlapping the other. So if you're having cyan and magenta getting printed one above the other, they will create a color known as blue. So if there is yellow and cyan mixing, it will create a color known as green. So they should know these combinations, so that when the printing is happening, they will understand what is the problem in the color and which color should be controlled if the wrong color is getting printed.
All right. Although I am sharing the link for upcoming 21st August session in the chat window, I would also like everybody to visit our website to know more about upcoming sessions, and you can register from there. We also have a campaign going on of Skills Say Smile. When we say Skills Say Smile challenge, what you have to do, you have to With a photo, you have to tell us the skill you have learned during the lockdown. Pose with a V sign and a big smile on your face. Nominate 3 of your friends by tagging them and ask them to share the skills they learned. Use hashtag skills say smile, and you can support the challenge by changing your display pic by clicking on the link I am going to share quickly in the chat window. So we have a lot of activities for our candidates, and the WorldSkills and India Skills are going to be started soon. India Skills competition, the screening, Media and Entertainment Skills Council has already started the screening session, and we hope you all get through the regional and come in the India Skills, and yes, go and bring glory to our nation. With this, I would like to go ahead and thank Mr. Prabhune for his time yesterday and today as well. And we are excited to see Mr. Mack and Mr. Prabhune back on Friday. Mr. Mack, thank you so much for your time. And it's really an honor to have you on as a guru on a Vidyadaan platform and guiding students across the country.
Okay, thank you so much for organizing this meeting this morning. It was a great pleasure for me to share my time with you, and I hope that people have some interest to follow up, and then we have more information on next Friday.
Yes, absolutely. Next Friday, 1 p.m. we'll be back. So do register and get ready with the basics. Stay safe, take care, and see you on Thursday for the concept art session, 4 p.m. Okay, take care. Thank you. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Okay, merci. Bye.
Bye.